Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, and Shaq, here for another exciting episode of TMG Takes the Field, the weekly show where we talk about sports, mainly the NFL, but sports in general. We are going to talk about basketball to start off the show because I can do that because it's my show. I do what I want. We are going to go ahead and start talking with the NBA. NBA had a very fun week this last week. It was trade deadline. There's been some rumors as far as who's available, who's going to be traded. And I have a full list of everything that's happened since January 21st. I actually have everything, but I'll go ahead and start with the 21st because that's what I feel like doing. So the Suns land 3 first-rounders from the Jazz. This was the Jazz trading the 2031 first-round pick, Suns receiving 2025 first-round pick, 2027 first-round pick, and 2029 first-round pick. These are all the least favorable, at least the 3 that the Suns are getting. To the Jazz having multiple first-round picks these years, the Suns will get whichever one is the higher number. So, for instance, if the Jazz were to get the number 1, then like the number 15, they'd get the 15. So, whichever is the worst pick. Another trade, the Clippers and the Jazz had a trade. The Clippers are sending Mo Bamba, PJ Tucker, the 2030 second-round pick, and cash to the Jazz, while the Clippers are receiving Drew Eubanks and Patty Mills. February 2nd, that was Saturday, shocked the sports world. Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleba, and Markieff Morris from the Mavericks. Mavericks getting Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the 2029 first-round pick. The Utah Jazz getting Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2025 second-round pick, or 2 2025 second-round picks, being involved in a 3-team deal there. Huge news there. Luka, best player on the Mavs, one of my favorite players right now. He's on a different team. Like I was shocked when I read that. I literally looked at my phone and I'm like, I'm dreaming right now because I was laying in bed. I'll set my phone down to wake up a little bit, and then I picked my phone back up. No, was not dreaming. That actually happened. Next, we have the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Kings receive Zach LaVine, City Kissoko, the 2025 first-round pick, 2027 first-round pick, 2031 first-round pick, 2025 second-round pick, 2028 2 second-round picks. And then the Bulls getting Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and the 2025 first-round pick. So De'Aaron Fox, huge name there, going to the Spurs, giving Victor Wembanyama another weapon. Zach LaVine, slam dunk contest champ, all-star in the slam dunk contest, heading over to the Kings. There was a pick swap with the Hornets and the Thunder. The Hornets get the 2029 second-round pick. The Thunder get a 2030 conditional second-round pick. Mavs making a lot of moves. They acquire Caleb Martin from the 76ers in exchange for Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second-round pick. News came out, too, that the 76ers gave the Mavericks an additional second-round pick due to Caleb Martin's health condition or health issues. He has a hip injury. The Thunder and Pelicans, Thunder received Daniel Theis and a 2031 second-round pick for cash. The Kings in the news, or in another trade, get Jonas Valanciunas. Wizards get City Kissoko and 2 future second-round picks. So City getting traded to the Kings just to get traded to the Wizards. I love it when that happens. Those are always like my favorite trades. There's a guy, I don't remember his name, but he got traded to like 5 different NBA teams in a matter of 3 days. Celtics and Rockets in a trade. The Rockets received Jaden Springer, 2027 second round pick, and a 2030 second round pick for a 2031 second round pick. Wizards get Reggie Jackson and a 2026 first round pick from the 76ers. 76ers get Jared Butler, a 2027 second round pick, 2028 second round pick, and then 2 second round picks in the 2030 draft. Pacers and Raptors. Raptors get James Wiseman and cash. The Pacers get draft considerations. The Pistons and the Sixers. Pistons get KJ Martin, the 2027 second round pick, and a 2031 second round pick. 76ers getting cash. Pistons and Jazz. Pistons get Dennis Schroeder, Lindy Walters III, and a future second round pick. The Jazz get KJ Martin and a future second round pick. The Raptors and Heat. Raptors get PJ Tucker, a 2026 second round pick. The Heat receive Davion Mitchell. We have another 3-team deal between the Warriors, Heat, and Jazz. Warriors getting Jimmy Butler. The Heat getting Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell. And then the Jazz getting Josh Richardson and KJ Martin. The Raptors get Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans. The Pelicans get Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. The Wizards, Grizzlies, and Kings had a fun little deal. The Wizards received Marcus Smart, Colby Jones, Alex Len, and then the Grizzlies 2025 first-round pick. The Grizzlies get Johnny Davis, Marvin Bagley III, and 2 second-round picks. And the Kings receive Jake LaRavia. And that was the end of trade deadline. So a lot of big names there. Obviously, the biggest one, Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, that swap. De'Aaron Fox, another big name that was traded Jimmy Butler. So a lot of big names getting moved on this NBA trade deadline. And again, my favorite, the ones where they get traded like 20, 25 times. It's always fun when that happens. But we are not done with the NBA. 2025 All-Star teams have been somewhat announced. The way they're doing the actual All-Star games this year is they're going to have 4 teams of 8. And they're going to have 3 games. It's going to be a small tournament. So 3 of the teams have been announced. There's Team Shaq. That's you. Team Kenny and Team Chuck. The other team that has not been announced is Team Candace. So Charles Barkley, Candace Parker, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal are going to be your coaches. For Team Shaq, we have LeBron James, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Kevin Durant, Jaylen Brown, and James Harden. For Team Kenny, we have Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Williams, Jaren Jackson Jr., Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Tyler Hero, and Cade Cunningham. For Team Chuck, we have Nikola Jokic, Giannis, not doing that, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, Pascal Siakam, Alperen Sengun, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, and then Team Candace has not been announced yet. That should hopefully be announced pretty soon. The All-Star game, obviously a lot of fun because of the skills competition. Most notably the dunk contest, where Zach LaVine has had a ton of success. A lot of fun watching that. It hasn't been as fun the last couple of years, but I still enjoy it. But that has been our talk of the NBA. Now we're going to move on to the NFL. A lot of fun stuff happened, especially today. First is our 2025 Hall of Fame class has been announced. So, introducing your class of 2025. We have at cornerback Eric Allen. Eric played for the Eagles, Saints, and Raiders. He was drafted in 1998, retired in 2001. Jared Allen, defensive end, drafted in 2004 by the Kansas City Chiefs. Played with the Chiefs, Vikings, Bears, and Panthers. He was from 2004 to 2015. His final year with the Panthers was the year they made it to the Super Bowl. And then one of the best retirement videos So when he said he was riding off in the sunset, put on a cowboy hat, and starts riding a horse off into the distance. Sack machine there. We have Antonio Gates, tight end for the Chargers. He was drafted in 2003, retired in 2018, spent his entire career with the Chargers. And we have Sterling Sharp, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, was drafted in 88, retired in 94, spent his entire year with the Packers. That is your class of 2025. My favorite's Jared Allen. I remember watching him play. I was too young for the others. I'm not going to lie. Or I say Antonio. I watched Antonio Gates. What are we doing, Papa? Antonio Gates, legend, one of the best tight ends ever. Shannon Sharp is a great voice on talk radio. But everyone definitely deserved their spot in the Hall of Fame. Not much I can say about anything else. Can't wait to see the Hall of Fame game. And then we did also have NFL honors was today. All of the fun awards. So first we have the assistant coach of the year. I will not go over like who was dominated. I will just say who won it. So Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Obviously that was a great offense. Very high powered. A lot of ingenuity too. And then Ben Johnson, huge in the head coaching game. Last season, ended up staying with the Lions, and then decided to interview for a couple positions this year after the offseason. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jaden Daniels, quarterback for the Commanders. I said at the beginning of the year Jaden Daniels would have the best career, but probably a slower start to his career. And I was wrong. Fantastic start. I can only hope he has the worst career of all of the quarterbacks that were drafted this year, because he plays against my team at least twice. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Pat Surtain II, cornerback for Denver. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Saquon Barkley, running back for the Eagles. Great year, Saquon. Comeback Player of the Year goes to Joe Burrow, quarterback of Cincinnati. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jared Verse, edge for the Rams. Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, a lot of talk with him because he had a great year, even though his starting quarterback tore his MCL. And then we have MVP, first-time winner, Josh Allen, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. Josh had a great year, and especially a little sour end to the year as his team lost in the AFC Championship game again against the Chiefs. But great year all around for Josh Allen. It was him and Lamar, and like I said, right before they played each other, it's probably going to go to whoever won whenever they played each other, because it was Saquon was very close, but it was going to be between those two. So much deserved, great season, Josh Allen. He's your 2025 MVP. And then we do have a lot of coaching changes. I went ahead and pulled up the entirety of the coaching changes. I'm just going to go over who was hired, because I forgot to talk about this last week. I was talking to Tato, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to go through this, head coaching hirings, and then Pro Bowl. And we got to the end, and I completely forgot about the Pro Bowl. And so just because I don't remember who I have said and who I have not, I just went ahead and pulled up a whole list, and it's everybody. And so I didn't really feel like scrolling through and finding just head coaches. So I'm just going to go over all of them. So the Cleveland Browns had some offensive changes. They have a new offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, new offensive line coach, Mike Bloomgren, and a new tight ends coach, Christian Jones. Indianapolis Colts get a new defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, former Bengals defense coordinator there. And then a new secondary coach, Chris Hewitt. Tennessee Titans with a new general manager, Mike Bergonzi, and a new special teams coordinator, John Fassell. The New England Patriots, new head coach, Mike Vrabel, new offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, and a new defensive coordinator, Terrell Williams. Cincinnati Bengals get new defensive coordinator, Al Golden. The Atlanta Falcons, new defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, new defensive passing game coordinator, Mike Ruttenberg, and a new defensive line coach, Nate Ollie. Seattle Seahawks, new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. The Saints, new defensive coordinator. Really, he's not new. Robert Saleh is rejoining the team. And then a new special teams coordinator, Brent Boyer. Miami Dolphins, new special teams coordinator, Craig Ackerman, and a receiver coach, Robert Prince. Baltimore Ravens, senior secondary coach, Chuck Pagano, and linebackers coach, Tyler Santucci. Chicago Bears, new defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle, passing game coordinator, Press Taylor, running backs coach, Eric Bieniemy, and defensive assistant Nichols coach, Cannon Matthews. So a lot of movement there. And new head coach, your current assistant coach of the year, Ben Johnson, leaving Detroit to travel south, not that far, to the Bears. Hopefully going to explode that offense. Now we move on to the Jets. New general manager, Darren Muggy. Offensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrand. Defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. Special teams coordinator, Chris Banjo. Offensive line coach, Steve Hayden. QB coach, Charles London. Pass game coordinator, Scott Turner. And new head coach, the other coordinator for the Lions, Aaron Glenn, former defensive coordinator, now head coach for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers did make a comment that he doesn't know what his future is going to be with the team. So that's a little fun side note there. The Detroit Lions, they had to replace a couple people. Their new offensive coordinator is John Morton. New defensive coordinator is Kelvin Shepard, and passing game coordinator is David Shaw. Tampa Bay Buccaneers' new offensive coordinator is Josh Grizzard. Passing game coordinator, Kefense Heinzen. The Dallas Cowboys, new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. Offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams. Special teams coordinator, Nick Sorensen. Linebacker coach, David Borgonzi. Defensive line coach, Aaron Whitecotton. Defensive passing game coordinator, Andre Curtis. Running backs coach, Derek Foster. Secondary and defensive backs coach, David Overstreet II. Or junior. No, it's really the second. And new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. The Las Vegas Raiders, new general manager, John Spytek. Offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. Linebackers coach, John Glenn. And new head coach, Pete Carroll. I find that a very interesting move. I also saw a funny meme. Pete Carroll just lives in spite of John Harbaugh. Yeah. Yep, he probably does. Actually, Jim Harbaugh, whichever one's coaching the Chargers. The Houston Texans have a new defensive coordinator, Nick Caley. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a fun one. Offensive coordinator, Grant Udinsky. Secondary coach, Anthony Perkins. Defensive line coach, Matt Edwards. Linebackers coach, Tim Lakebu. Defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanelli. No general manager. They did fire their general manager after interviewing their current head coach when they said the interview didn't go well. Got rid of Balky and hired Duval, Liam Cohen. Obviously, huge meme right now because of his press conference, giving the worst Duval chant of all time. But Liam Cohen is your new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. One team we have not talked about is the New Orleans Saints, also looking for a head coach. Probably going to make some news here in the next couple of days or next week. because the person likely to get the job is about to coach a Super Bowl game as the offensive coordinator of the team that's going to win it all, the Philadelphia Eagles. Kellen Moore, it does sound like he is going to New Orleans to be the new head coach of the Saints. Obviously, nothing official. He is currently coaching a team that is actively playing, and you can't be hired if you're currently on a different team. So, Kellen Moore, I hope it's not true. I hope they get anybody else because I don't want to lose another offensive coordinator. We played so well, but that has been the news. I don't think we have anything else to talk about. There's definitely not a huge game going on Sunday. What? That's crazy. Oh, darn it. So I have my phone on the adventure trivia tin, and when I pulled it up, the magnet caught a hold of the box and took the lid off with it. So you might have heard that. But no, we do have a very exciting game going on this Sunday. We have the Super Bowl, the greatest game of the NFL season, the reason we play this season. At 15-2, the Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the 14-3 Philadelphia Eagles in New Orleans. It is Super Bowl LIX 59. I think that's Roman numerals. As of right now, the Chiefs are a 1-point favorite. It's basically a pick 'em on betting. It's a pick 'em. It's the same exact odds. 1 point. If the Chiefs win by 1 point, it's a wash. So you just go with the money line. Crazy game. This is a rematch from a couple of years ago. This is an entirely new Eagles team, and this is a practically the same, just different wide receivers for the Chiefs. It's a very hyped game. The Chiefs are going for a three-peat. The Eagles hoping to be the team that started the run, but ends the run, hoping to get revenge and hoping to get their second Super Bowl win. The Chiefs, I believe this would be their fifth. Yeah, they win this one. This would be their fifth. This would be Mahomes' fourth. But they won Super Bowl III, I think it was, and then going for this one here. So exciting game. Tato is not joining me. Tato is currently playing Legend of Zelda. He wanted me to let everybody know he is going to go with the Chiefs, but he's going to cheer for the Eagles. So Tato's pick is the Chiefs, and you obviously know what I'm going to do. I picked him to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of this year. I'm going with my Eagles. Homer pick, I don't care. I think Jalen Hurts has another breakout game like he did last Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs stop Saquon, which no other team has been able to do, but there's still that threat of Saquon, and so they try to keep stopping Saquon, but Jalen Hurts just torches that defense. It's going to be a good one. I think this Eagles defense is a lot better than the last time they played each other, which was crazy because that defense was the best in the NFL. I really like our secondary right now. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean have been doing great. I almost said Rodrigo Blankenship. Reed Blankenship has been doing great too, and they're new in the secondary. We're not there the last time we played each other. CJ Gardner Johnson, and Darius Slay returning. I really like the way we've been playing, especially as of late. And then that line is crazy. This is Brandon Graham's last game. He announced it last year, and so I don't know why it was news today or yesterday when he said that this would be his last game. And then also news, Darius Slay has announced that he is nearing the end of his career. Possibly next year will be his last year. So some losses coming to that Eagles defense, but you have them and you might as well win it. Let's win it for Brandon. I have the Eagles winning, but it has all the makings of being a great Super Bowl. That Guys, that's going to be the show for today. Thank you so much for watching. Comment what your prediction for the score is going to be. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, join us on Facebook. Just make smart choices. Or don't. I don't care. I'm not your dad. But I could be your papa.